Hitler's generals were stunned when America mass-produced jets before Germany could. The engine in a bomber. October 1, 1941. A consolidated B-24 Liberator lands at General Electric's plant in West Lynn, Massachusetts, carrying cargo that will change American aviation forever. Two British engineers emerge from the aircraft's bomb bay, followed by wooden crates containing something the United States has never possessed: a working turbojet engine. Frank Whittle's W1X engine, along with complete blueprints for the more powerful W2B design, has just crossed the Atlantic under absolute secrecy. General Henry Hap Arnold, commanding general of the Army Air Forces, personally arranged this technology transfer after visiting Britain's jet development facility in April. Arnold knows what German intelligence is reporting. The Luftwaffe is testing jet-powered aircraft. The Heinkel He 178 flew 2 years ago. The Messerschmitt Me 262 is in development. If Germany fields operational jet fighters before America even builds a prototype, Allied bomber formations will be slaughtered. The race is on, but America is years behind, starting from zero with borrowed British technology. Germany has a massive head start pioneering jet propulsion since the 1930s. Logic suggests the Nazis will win this race easily. Logic will be wrong. 143 days. June 21, 1943. Clarence Kelly. Johnson stands in a rented circus tent downwind from a plastics factory at the edge of Lockheed's Burbank facility. The stench is unbearable. The tent leaks. There's no proper workspace, no climate control, nothing but secrecy and impossible deadlines. Johnson has assembled 28 engineers who know only that they'll work 10-hour days, 6 days a week for the foreseeable future, building something classified. Only 5 people on the team know they're designing America's first operational jet fighter. The Army Air Forces gave Johnson's team 180 days to deliver a flying prototype. Most aviation experts consider this laughable. A new aircraft typically requires 3 to 5 years from concept to first flight. Even with borrowed engine technology, 180 days is absurd. Johnson promises 150 days. His team delivers in 143. The XP-80 prototype, nicknamed Lulu Belle because of its spinach green paint rolls, out on November 16, 1943, 7 days ahead of schedule. On January 8, 1944, test pilot Milo Burcham takes it into California's desert sky. By the second flight, he's skimming low over Muroc Dry Lake at 475 miles per hour, pulling tight aileron rolls that alarm spectators. The P-80 shooting star has just proven that American industry can design, build, and fly a jet fighter faster than anyone thought possible. But it's still months behind Germany's Me 262, which made its first flight in July 1942. The Germans have an 18-month head start and a 2-year lead in jet engine development. Except Germany has a problem. America doesn't. They can't mass-produce jets fast enough to matter. The first American jet. October 2, 1942. Bob Stanley guns the engines on the Bell XP-59A Aerocomet and lifts off from Muroc Dry Lake. It's the first American jet aircraft to fly, beating the P-80 by 15 months. Bell Aircraft Corporation built 3 prototypes using copied Whittle engines manufactured by General Electric as the IA turbojet. The project was so secret that workers transported the prototype to California in 3 crates on railroad flat cars, with air compressors running continuously to keep the turbine blades rotating, preventing bearing damage from rail vibrations. When the XP-59A taxied on the ground, Workers fitted it with a fake wooden propeller to disguise its true nature from curious observers. Security was absolute. The project designation P-59A was deliberate disinformation suggesting it was a development of an unrelated canceled Belle fighter. But the Aerocomet disappoints almost immediately. Maximum speed, 389 miles per hour at 35,000 feet. That's slower than many piston-engine fighters already in service. The P-51 Mustang tops 440 mph. The P-47 Thunderbolt reaches 428 mph. The British exchange one of their Gloucester Meteor jets for a YP-59A and report that the American aircraft compares very unfavorably with jets they're already flying. The Army Air Forces orders 50 production P-59s anyway, but only as trainers to familiarize pilots with jet handling characteristics. The Aerocomet never sees combat. It's underpowered, underperforming, and obsolete before production ends. But it teaches American engineers and pilots everything they need to know about operating jet aircraft. Every lesson learned from the P-59's failures flows directly into the P-80's success. The Aerocomet isn't a combat aircraft. It's a very expensive, very necessary stepping stone. The German problem. By January 1945, Germany has the world's most advanced jet fighter in combat, the Messerschmitt Me 262. Top speed 540 miles per hour, 4 30mm cannons that can shred a B-17 bomber with a 2-second burst. The Me-262 is faster than any Allied fighter climbs rapidly to altitude, and when flown by experienced pilots, it's nearly untouchable. On January 1, 1945, Me-262s from a single unit shoot down 12 American bombers in one attack. The threat is real and growing. Allied intelligence estimates Germany will field hundreds of Me-262s by spring. Every bomber crew flying over Germany now faces the terrifying possibility of jet interceptors appearing without warning. But Germany has problems America doesn't. The Jumo 004 turbojet engine that powers the Me-262 has an operational lifespan of 25 hours before requiring complete overhaul, often much less. Strategic materials are scarce. Nickel and chromium, critical for high-temperature turbine blades, are unavailable. German engineers substitute inferior alloys that fail catastrophically. Pilots report engine fires, turbine disintegrations, flameouts during combat. Production is slow. Germany built approximately 1,400 Me-262s between 1944 and 1945. That sounds impressive until you realize the aircraft's potential impact was crippled by fuel shortages, pilot attrition, Allied bombing of airfields, and logistical collapse. Many Me-262s never flew combat missions. They sat at factories awaiting fuel or were destroyed on the ground by Allied fighters. Most critically, Hitler interfered. He demanded the Me-262 be developed as a bomber rather than a fighter, wasting months while engineers redesigned the aircraft. By the time it entered service as a fighter, the Luftwaffe was already losing. America, by contrast, has unlimited resources, uninterrupted production facilities, and an industrial capacity Germany can't match. Scaling production. February 1945. The Army Air Forces places orders for 5,000 P-80 Shooting Stars. By July 83, P-80s have been delivered. By war's end in August, production is accelerating rapidly. Lockheed's Burbank facility is producing P-80s. North American Aviation begins building them under license. The pipeline is filling. 4 YP-80A pre-production aircraft reach Europe in January 1945, 2 to England, 2 to Italy. They're intended for operational testing, familiarization, and potential interception roles against German jets. Major Frederick Borsodi dies on January 28th when his YP-80A suffers an engine fire during a demonstration at RAF Burton Wood, temporarily grounding the program. But two YP-80As in Italy fly limited reconnaissance missions in February and March. They never encounter German jets. The war ends too quickly, but their presence demonstrates American capability. The P-80 arrives in Europe 9 months after Germany's Me-262 enters combat, yet America is already producing them faster than Germany produced its entire Me-262 fleet. The difference is industrial capacity. America in 1945 is an untouched manufacturing superpower. Factories operate at full capacity. Raw materials flow uninterrupted. Skilled labor is abundant. The P-80 costs $110,000 per aircraft, expensive but affordable when your economy produces limitless resources. Germany's economy is collapsing. Allied strategic bombing has crippled production. Transportation networks are destroyed. Fuel is unavailable. The Me-262 costs significantly more to produce than conventional fighters, requiring specialized materials Germany no longer has access to. By March 1945, Lockheed is building P-80s faster than Germany ever built Me-262s. The production rate continues accelerating. By 1950, over 1,700 P-80s will have been produced. The T-33 trainer variant, a two-seat version, will see over 6,000 units built and serve worldwide until some air forces retire their last examples in 2017. The Me-262 production ends in April 1945 when Germany surrenders. Final tally approximately 1,400 aircraft, many never seeing combat. What stunned the generals? German military leadership knew about American jet development. They had spies' intelligence reports, captured documents. They knew the Belle P-59 existed. They knew the P-80 was in development. What stunned them was the speed. Germany pioneered jet propulsion. German engineers were the world's experts. The Heinkel He 178 flew in 1939, 3 years before America's first jet. The Me-262 flew in 1942, 2 years before the P-80. Germany had superior technology, more experience, better engines. Yet by early 1945, American factories were preparing to outproduce Germany's entire jet program in months. The United States went from zero jet experience in 1941 to operational jets in Europe in early 1945. 4 years. Germany needed 6 years and still couldn't field jets in meaningful numbers before defeat. After the war, interrogated Luftwaffe officers expressed disbelief at American industrial capacity. One Me-262 pilot, shown photographs of P-80 production lines, said simply, "This is what beat us, not tactics, not pilots, numbers." Another captured officer noted that Germany knew America would eventually develop jets. They just assumed it would take 5 to 7 years. Discovering that American jets reached Europe in 4 years, with production ramping up to thousands of aircraft, shattered any remaining illusions about matching American output. Albert Speer, Hitler's armaments minister, would later write that Germany lost the production war long before losing the shooting war. He specifically cited jet aircraft as an example. Germany developed superior technology, but couldn't manufacture it fast enough. America copied foreign technology and mass-produced it before Germany could leverage its advantages. The cost. The P-80 program killed men. Milo Burcham, Lockheed's chief test pilot who flew Lulu Belle's first flight, died on October 20, 1944, when his P-80 lost an engine on takeoff. He couldn't bail out in time. His death was attributed to failure to brief him on a newly installed emergency fuel pump backup system. Richard Bong, America's top ace with 40 victories, died testing a production P-80 on August 6, 1945, the same day the atomic bomb destroyed Hiroshima. His aircraft rolled inverted after takeoff due to fuel pump failure. Bong bailed out too close to the ground. His parachute didn't deploy in time. At least 4 other test pilots died in separate P-80 accidents during development. The rush to field operational jets before war's end came at a heavy human cost. Every crash, every fatality taught engineers what needed fixing. The aircraft that eventually reached squadrons was safer because those men died testing earlier versions. Germany paid similar prices. Me-262 test pilots died frequently. Engine failures at altitude flameouts during combat, structural failures during high-speed dives, the casualty list was long. But Germany's production bottleneck meant each lost prototype set the program back significantly. America's industrial capacity meant losing prototypes was tragic, but not crippling. Another aircraft could be built quickly. Korea, June 27, 1950. A P-80 shooting star from the 35th Fighter Squadron shoots down 2 North Korean Il-10 bombers over South Korea. They're America's first jet combat victories. 4 years after World War II ended, the shooting star finally proves itself in combat. Redesignated F-80 after the Air Force dropped the P designation. In 1947, it becomes America's front-line fighter in Korea. The F-80 performs well against piston-engine opponents, but struggles against Soviet-built MiG-15 jets. The swept-wing MiG is faster, climbs better, and operates at higher altitudes. But American pilots achieve 6 MiG kills, using F-80s, demonstrating that superior tactics can overcome technological disadvantages. As a ground attack aircraft, the F-80 excels. It destroys tanks, trucks, trains, and enemy positions with devastating effectiveness. 75% of enemy losses during the initial months of the Korean War are attributed to F-80 airstrikes. The T-33 trainer variant becomes the most successful jet trainer in history. Over 6,000 built, flown by air forces worldwide. The last T-33 retires from U.S. Air Force service in 1997. Bolivia's Air Force flies theirs until 2017, 73 years after the prototype's first flight. The P-80's legacy isn't just combat victories. It's proving that America could design, build, and deploy jets faster than anyone expected. It's demonstrating that industrial capacity matters more than technological head starts. It's showing that mass production wins wars, not prototype superiority. The lesson: Germany pioneered jet propulsion and lost the jet race. The Heinkel He 178 flew in 1939 the world's first jet aircraft. The Me-262 was the world's first operational jet fighter. German engineers were years ahead of everyone. They had better engines, more experience, superior designs. But America had something. Germany didn't. Factories that couldn't be bombed, supply lines that couldn't be cut, resources that couldn't be exhausted, and industrial capacity that couldn't be matched. When Frank Whittle's engine arrived in Massachusetts in October 1941, America was 4 years behind Germany in jet technology. By January 1944, the P-80 had flown. By February 1945, P-80s were in Europe. By July 1945, production was accelerating toward thousands of aircraft. Germany built approximately 400 Me-262s over 2 years. America built over 1,700 P-80s in 5 years, then built 6,000 more T-33 trainers. The numbers tell the story. Hitler's generals were stunned not because America developed jets they expected that eventually. They were stunned because America did it so fast, then immediately began mass-producing them at rates Germany could never match. Kelly Johnson's team built the XP-80 prototype in 143 days. That's faster than Germany could build 10 production Me-262s. The Skunk Works, Johnson's legendary Advanced Development Division, went from circus tent to operational jet fighter in less than 6 months. That's what happens when you combine borrowed technology, unlimited resources, uninterrupted production, and American industrial might. Germany pioneered the technology. America perfected mass production. And in war, production capacity matters more than innovation. The Me-262 was a better aircraft than the P-80, faster, better armed, more advanced. But Germany built 1,400 of them. America was prepared to build 5,000 P-80s before the war ended, then kept building for 5 more years. Superior technology doesn't win wars. Superior production does. That's what stunned Hitler's generals. Not that America built jets, but that America built them faster, cheaper, and in greater numbers than Germany ever could. The race to develop jet fighters began with Germany years ahead. It ended with American factories churning out jets while Germany's production facilities lay in ruins. From October 1941, when Whittle's engine arrived in Massachusetts, to February 1945, when P-80s reached Europe, took 40 months. In that time, America went from zero jet experience to operational jets in combat theaters. Germany spent 6 years developing the Me-262 and fielded 1,400 before losing the war. America spent 4 years developing the P-80 and was ready to produce 5,000 before war ended. That's not just catching up. That's leapfrogging the leader through sheer industrial force. And that's what left German generals stunned, captured, and defeated, watching American jets fly overhead, mass-produced by a nation they'd underestimated until it was far too late.